Hey Vipers, I'm Jacob. Welcome back to another episode of Viper News, your final episode of the 2024-2025 school year. We've got a packed show today with sports highlights, teacher shoutouts, and tips to keep you safe all summer long. But first, let's rewind the clock to May 28th in history. On this day, back in 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge officially opened to pedestrian traffic in San Francisco. And in 1961, Amnesty International was founded in launching a global movement of human rights. Pretty powerful stuff. Now, let's jump into something just as important right here at Space Coast, mental health awareness. Take a breath, take a break, and take care of yourself. Let's check it out.
Since it's May, not only is it the last month of school, but it's also Mental Health Awareness Month. So I went around interviewing teachers on how they deal with mental health. All right, who am I here with?
Mr. Wagner.
Okay. I have a couple questions for you about mental health.
Okay.
All right. How do you define mental health as a teacher?
Mental health. Oh my gosh. Being stable, being happy, being consistent, being content, having support, having family, having friends, a good support system.
Okay. And how do you usually respond when you notice a student might be struggling with mental health?
I usually just ask them a simple question. How you doing today? Is everything okay?
Okay. And if you saw a student come to you to help about mental health and where they should go, what would you say to them?
I would probably guide them to the counselor at school or to seek help elsewhere, probably starting with their family, letting their family know.
Okay, thank you. With?
I'm Miss Oren.
Okay. So, as your role as a teacher, how do you define mental health?
Mental health is, that's hard to explain. Mental health is like the well-being of your, what's going on in your head, basically. I think it ties in with your emotional well-being as well.
Okay. Have you ever had to support a student dealing with mental health issues?
Oh, absolutely. Every year, all the time.
How did you approach it?
As someone who has their own mental health problems sometimes, I approach it with the same methods that I learned from therapy. Breathing exercises, taking those deep breaths, writing it out, anything that's gonna kind of get their feelings out of their head and into the world.
Okay, and one last question. How do you take care of your own mental health as a teacher?
Well, I do go to therapy, which is really important even if you don't think you need it. Therapy is definitely a great tool as a preventative measure. I do a lot of writing, and I have self-care days. So on Sundays before I come back to work, I just have a treat yourself day.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What is your name?
My name is Sean Parson.
What are some ways that you deal with stress?
I deal with stress by hanging out with family or doing stuff I like to do, like hobbies.
All right, thank you. What's your name?
Joseph Lee Cowley.
What are some ways that you deal with mental health and stress?
The new Star Wars Fortnite season, Netspend, and Osama-san.
All right, what's your name?
Susan Dugan.
What are some effective ways that students can deal with stress?
All right, so first of all, find a hobby, find an activity, get outside, get some exercise, eat right, and always find a reason to laugh. So today is dressed like a student today. So you see how goofy I look? But it's funny. So get a good sense of humor, eat right, exercise, take care of your body, and find someone to talk to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
What is your name?
Mr. Gordon.
Why is mental health so important for students?
So they don't crash out on me in the middle of class.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
What is your name?
Ethan.
How are you feeling today?
Great.
What are you doing to keep a healthy mind?
I play Meep City on Roblox from time to time.
All right, thank you.
All right, who am I here with today?
You're here with Mrs. Hannon.
All right, we're gonna ask you a couple questions about Mental Health Month. All right, number one, what does mental health mean to you?
Mental health means to me you put yourself a first priority and you take care of yourself.
All right. how do you take care of your mental well-being?
Honestly, I talk to my husband, I talk to my mom, I talk to my students, because there are just days where you just have a hard time. Everybody goes through a hard time, and so we just need to find that person or persons that we're comfortable with sharing with and share. And also we need to learn that it's okay that if we realize friends aren't good for us or people aren't good for us, that we set boundaries and not include them in our lives.
Nice. All right. How can we reduce the stigma around mental health issues?
We need to know that it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to be sad, but it's not okay to be sad every day or find problems every day. And when you find yourself in that situation, you need to seek help. You need to seek a therapist or talk to a counselor, and that's okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Anna.
You're welcome.
All right. Hello, who am I here with?
Mrs. Dravick.
Okay, Ms. Dravick, I have a few questions for you about mental health. Number one, what role does self-care play in mental health?
Self-care is really important. As a teacher, I can't be there for my students unless I'm taking care of myself mentally. If I'm already spent and don't have enough energy because I'm, not sleeping enough, not, doing things that rejuvenate myself, it's hard to be there for my students who need my entire attention, if they're going through a problem.
Okay. And number two, how can friends and family support someone struggling with mental health?
I would say friends and family are key because I know a lot of times, especially if it's teenagers and parents don't always get along, and sometimes the parents feel like they might be bothering the student, their child, but I would just say make sure you're not giving up on that person, friends and family, and even if that person is pushing you away, I would push back and just make sure they're okay and continue talking to them, and maybe just do something that that they like to do that could boost their spirits a little bit. And then of course sometimes parents don't take it seriously, and some parents don't agree with therapy and stuff like that. So I kind of, think parents should definitely, just get therapy for their kids if they really need it.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Jacob. That was a great reminder to look out for ourselves and each other. Now, speaking of amazing people who look out for us, it's time for our teacher spotlight. Today, we're shining the light on someone who always brings the energy, creativity, and heart to her classroom. Yep, you guessed it, it's Miss Schaefer. Let's find out why students love her class and what makes her tick.
In my economics class, every fall we go to the Stock Market Challenge, which is a field trip, and students get to use what they've learned in the classroom and apply it to real-world situations and get to invest in stocks, fictional stocks, and compete against other schools, and they have the potential to win really cool prizes. Yes, I coach varsity cheer and I sponsor Alliance for Human Liberation, where we raise awareness for modern-day slavery and human trafficking. My favorite event every year is Homecoming Week because I love dressing up and getting into the spirit and getting ready for our pep rally and our homecoming game and the homecoming dance itself.
That was an awesome shout out to Ms. Schaefer. All right, Viper fans, it's time for some sports action. Our Viper football team just kicked off their first game of 2025, and let's just say we came in swinging. Final score 53-0. We dominated Father Lopez and set the tone for what's going to be a wild season. Let's go Vipers, what a way to start the season. Now as we head into summer, it's all about having fun and staying safe too. So here are a few quick summer safety tips for you. Hydrate. Water is your best friend. Wear sunscreen. Nobody wants to start summer looking like a lobster. Don't text and drive. Seriously, keep your eyes on the road and always let someone know where you're going. Well, that's a wrap for this school year and this episode of Viper News. From mental health to football wins and everything in between. Thank you for watching and growing with us all year long.
Have the best summer ever. Stay safe, stay frosty, stay beautiful. We love you. We'll see you next year, Vipers. Thanks, Jacob. That was a great reminder to look out for ourselves and each other. Hey Vipers, I'm Jacob. Welcome back to another episode of VNTV News. Final episode for the 2024-2025 school year. We've got a packed show today.
Yeah, but I don't know.